Hello, everyone. Adam Bergman here, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. And on today's video, we are going to be chatting about, well, I will at least, how you can transfer your IRA that owns GME GameStop stock to IRA Financial so you can continue to direct register those shares. So just to set the agenda for today's video, we are going to be chatting about the direct registration process, and we'll then discuss two ways to direct register, whether you have GME stock in an IRA that is at a broker, and now you want to join the millions and millions of GameStop holders that have already directly registered their shares. And number two, if you have a self-directed IRA that directly registered those shares at another custodian, like a Mainstar, and now want to or need to switch it to IRA Financial, today's video will kind of go through how that is done. Of course, the IRA Financial team, it will help you through the process, and there's not much you're going to need to do, but just wanted to add a little flavor to it and include some information so at least everyone has. So without further ado, let's get started. So believe it or not, there's about 76 million GameStop shares that are directly registered. And this is from an article back in April on the street. But 25% of the company's total outstanding shares. So super interesting. Now, what's direct registration? Why do people need to do it? Well, basically what you do is the DRS system is another way to help you get your shares out of the brokerage's hands so you actually control those shares. Because what has been going on for many, many years that I think people just awoke to this fact during the COVID GME bull run and the short squeeze is that actually brokerage firms just use people's shares to lend out and actually may not even have those shares to cover those short positions. So what a DRS does is it actually registers it not in the brokerage's name, but in your name or the name of the IRA, or in our solution, the name of the LLC. And I believe, as a tax attorney, I'm super proud that, IRA Financial is really the only self-directed IRA custodian that's come up with a solution where you can use an IRA LLC to directly register the GME or any other shares, whether it's AMC or any other company where you're worried about short selling. You can directly register into an LLC that you as the manager control, not the brokerage firm. They cannot just take these shares since it's not registered in their name for your benefit, but it's actually registered in the name of the LLC that you control. And that's been the big issue is when you have shares at a brokerage firm, it's labeled as a beneficiary. So it's a beneficial shareholder, giving the brokerage firm the ability to just take those shares and use it and actually earn a fee for lending them out, even though they're your shares. Yeah, it's like, I'm a tax lawyer. When I found out about this, look, I'm not a whiz, Wall Street whiz. I never worked on Wall Street. I was just a tax lawyer. So when I found out that brokerage firms did this and actually earned fees, like I was totally blown away. And add on top of the fact that in many cases, they don't even have the shares that they're lending out. They should have the inventory, but a lot of it is what's called naked short selling, which is technically illegal, but we know is totally happening. So there's been a big movement, especially with GameStop, because GameStop's one of the shares with the largest short positions out there. I found some information close to about 20% of the floated shares have short interest. It's less than it was Q2. GME has been a very strong performing stock this year. Certainly the market has as well, but up over 30%. It's done real well. A lot of people attributed it to just more people DRSing. I'm not sure. There's about 75 million shares, 25%. I think if that number increases, it will have a monumental impact, and we're happy to do it. That's as IRA Financial. The beauty of the self-directed IRA industry is we're serving you. As long as you can do it legally, and there's only three things you cannot do in an IRA: you can't buy life insurance, you can't buy collectibles like art, and you can't do a self-dealing transaction where you take your IRA and buy yourself a watch or a car or a house to live in. So this is something you can do. All you're doing literally is just moving the beneficial ownership from your IRA, care of the brokerage firm, to an LLC you control. Now, the beauty of IRA Financials, we're not a financial institution. We don't sell stocks. We don't sell investment funds. In fact, we're not allowed to, right? We are a trust company. We are not allowed to sell securities. We're not FINRA regulated. We're not a broker dealer. We have no affiliation or connection to any. We are straight up a IRA custodian that custodies and administers alternative assets, whether it's real estate or gold, cryptos or stock. We don't care. We simply provide that service. So it's a really good fit for a lot of the GME shareholders who are very worried about brokerage firms getting their hands into these shares and somehow as a owner of record being able to lend out these shares, even though when you really think you have control as a DRS system, that you've actually fell into the wrong hand. So the beauty of the self-directed IRA LLC structure is you control it. You're the manager of the LLC. So what I want to do is just kind of go through the steps you would need to do. Let's say you have an IRA at, I don't know, Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, and you own GameStop stock, and you want to get it into a DRS model in your IRA. So basically, we're the only, IRA Financial is the only, I believe, only custodian out there that will do this the right way. We have no risk of a brokerage firm getting their hands on these shares because you absolutely control it. It's directly registered in the name of the LLC, and you, as the manager, not me, you as the manager, as per the LLC operating agreement, control the shares, not the brokerage firm. There's no brokerage firm, right? It's essentially goes through computer share. The owner of the shares is the LLC. You are the manager of the LLC. Your IRA owns the LLC, so there's no risk of IRA or any brokerage firm getting their hands or access to these funds because number one, we can't. We're not FINRA regulated. We're not a SEC company. We don't sell stocks. We don't sell investments. We're just a custodian of alternative assets. So what do you do? Okay, and actually, I'll probably put this in the chat how it works. So bear with me. So step one, you're going to open up a self-directed IRA account with IRA Financial. It takes a couple days, right? So that will give you an IRA account. The second step is you're going to ask for an in-kind rollover of your GME stock. Okay, so the brokerage firm will DRS it to computer share in the name of you, right? You will take a 60-day indirect rollover, meaning the shares, you're not cash, the shares are going to be coming to you. Okay, and you have 60 days, once every 12 months, to do an indirect rollover. And the shares will then be retitled to computer share in your name. Okay, so that's number two. Okay, and this is actually a little too long for YouTube, so I will cut it out and do some parts on this. But essentially, what we're doing is moving the shares in your name from your IRA to your name and getting it to computer share, which will let you DRS it. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste this so you can see it. But it's okay. There you go. So that's step two. Okay, and again, we do everything with you. We'll handle everything. We have a reduced fee for GameStop shareholders. It's a one-time fee to set up the LLC. It's not expensive, and then just $400 a year to custody the IRA. We have no asset valuation fees, no transaction fees, no wire fees, nothing. Like, it's flat fee. It's super easy. So then what we do is we set up an LLC, and we'll generally do that in any state you wish. Generally, you'll pick a state that doesn't have franchise fees, and we do everything for you. That's part of our fee. Okay, so we'll set up the LLC. We'll do the tax ID number. We'll get you the operating agreement, and that LLC will ultimately be owned by your IRA and be controlled by you as the manager, and that will be all outlined in the operating agreement. So again, just to recap, you got shares, IRA-owned GameStop shares at Fidelity or Vanguard. You want to DRS them. You open an account with us. We then, as that process is unfolding, we'll set up an LLC. We'll then help you do an in-kind rollover of those shares to computer share. It will be titled from your IRA at Vanguard to you personally. Again, you have 60 days to do this. Every 12 months, you can do an in-kind distribution every 12 months. So within 60 days, we will then retitle those shares in the name of the LLC. So ultimately, the shares are going to go from Vanguard or Fidelity or wherever they are to ComputerShare in your name. We'll set up the LLC, and then the shares will be owned by the LLC. And we will take care of that whole process with ComputerShare. We have tons of experience. We've done this with significant amounts of clients. I don't want to say thousands, but it's up there. We will help you through the entire process. So at the end of the day, what you've done is you've got your GameStop shares in the name of an LLC. So you moved it from the IRA to you personally back into the IRA LLC within 60 days. We'll then work with ComputerShare, to retitle those assets in the name of the LLC from your name. So when we're all said and done, you have an IRA that owns an LLC. The LLC owns the ComputerShare stock the GME stock through ComputerShare DRS, direct registered in the name of the LLC. There's no risk of having any brokerage firms there because we're not a brokerage firm. ComputerShare isn't either. We have no connection to a brokerage firm or a broker dealer, or we don't do that stuff. That's not our business. Okay. So now let's say you're a new client. That was if you were a new client. Let me just add that in. I forgot. So that is if you want to just move your shares from Vanguard Fidelity. Now, what about you want to move your account from another custodian like Mainstar? That's another IRA, self-directed IRA custodian that has been active, involved with a lot of DRSing from GameStop shareholders, but it seems that they're no longer in that business. So IRA Financial is going to take over and help any of the self-directed IRA clients at Mainstar or any other self-directed IRA custodian kind of help you through that process, so that ultimately you can just get the shares moved to IRA Financial Trust, which is super easy. So I'm going to go through that process right now. The first process was just if you had GME stock in an IRA, not a self-directed IRA, no DRS, and you wanted to DRS. Here you already have what you think is DRS, but it actually may not be the case. And you want to get it into a true DRS solution. This is your best bet. And I've spoken to a number of folks. I've got close to some folks in the community. I definitely am part of the GameStop community. I don't have millions of dollars in GME, but I have some money in it. And I totally get the DRS model. Just it's really scary how short sellers can control the price of the share and really put downward pressure on it for really no reason. So I'm totally in favor of this. Anything I can do to help people DRS it, I'm in favor of. I think it makes sense. Whether it brings the stock up or down, I don't think that matters. Of course, I want the shares to go up, right? Who doesn't? But it's about having a fair marketplace. That's the way I look at it. Like, people shouldn't have their shares grabbed from them, taken and borrowed without them knowing, and having downward pressure on the stock that they own that they want to make money on. It's like crazy. It's like, hey, I bought these shares through you. You made commission. I hope they go up, but behind my back, you take those shares, you lend it to some short seller who wants it to go down. I get no fees for this. You get the fees. It's not fair. It's right. I'm surprised the SEC allows this. There should definitely be more rules. There should be fees that are charged to the consumer. Like, I should get the fees. Maybe the brokerage firm should get a fee too for putting the parties together. But I'm the shareholder. I should get a cut of your fee. They're my shares. They're not yours. And the brokerage firm is like, no, they're our shares, right? You're the beneficiary. It's registered in Fidelity's name for the benefit of Adam. They're not your shares, Adam. We'll give them to you. We promise we'll give them to you when you sell them, but they're not yours. And that's the misconception that's going on. And it's, I believe, highly unethical, because most folks don't understand that. They think if they buy Tesla or GameStop or Apple, they own it. It's theirs. And actually, indirectly it's theirs, but directly it's registered to the brokerage firm for the benefit of the individual, which I think is unfair. So anyways, that's my rant on it. I know a lot of you guys agree with it. So I guess I'm preaching to the choir. So let's just go through real quick the steps. So let's say you have an IRA, a custodian, Mainstar, or someone else, and you need to move away, and you want to go to IRA Financial DRS. So basically, you open an account right at IRA Financial. It's kind of the same process. Open an account with IRA Financial. This process is actually easier because you already have a self-directed IRA. So you complete a transfer authorization form that's on our app. Okay. You can download it or just get it on our website. Use the web model, and you just need to upload a statement from your Mainstar account. Okay. I'm just using Mainstar, but it could be any self-directed IRA custodian. I just know, they have a lot of clients that have done the DRS with the GME stock, and it seems like they're trying to get out of that business for some reason. So what we do next is then we will fax the transfer authorization form to Mainstar to let them know what's going on, and then we'll DocuSign that. So we handle all that. Okay, you set up the account, but we'll handle the rest. We'll then file and create the LLC, because if you are at Mainstar, another custodian, you're not going to have the self-directed IRA LLC. Okay, so we will handle that for you, just like you would if you had your shares at Vanguard or Fidelity. And then step 4 is when we receive the DRS from ComputerShare and the LLC structure is complete, we'll create the letter of instructions and a W-9 for you to sign. Okay, because they're going to need that to know what's going on as well. Okay, so that's something we will handle. We'll work with ComputerShare and Mainstar to get this happening. We will then do a name change form and send it to ComputerShare to change the name from, let's say, IRA, self-directed IRA custodian X, care of John Doe, to the name of your LLC. So let's say you have an account at Mainstar or another custodian. The title of those shares at ComputerShare and the GRE model would be, XYZ self-directed IRA company for the benefit of John Doe IRA. And what we're going to be doing is moving that name to the LLC. So remember, the LLC is going to be ultimately owned by your IRA Financial Trust company for the benefit of John Doe IRA. All we're doing is moving that share from the Mainstar beneficiary to the LLC that you control, right? Because when it's titled in Mainstar or another IRA custodian, technically they have the ownership, right? It's registered in their name. It's kind of the same model as Vanguard or Fidelity. The only difference is most IRA custodians aren't also financial service firms. We're not brokerage firms. Generally, we don't sell investment equities or mutual funds, ETFs. We don't give investment advice. Some IRA custodians could have connections to them. IRA Financial doesn't, which is why I think this model really works. So even if you have a DRS solution at another custodian like Mainstar, the shares are actually registered in Mainstar's name for your benefit. So you actually aren't in that much of a better position than you would at Fidelity or Vanguard. Now, you are in the sense that, assuming Mainstar or some of these custodians don't get involved in the brokerage business. But if they are, then you're basically in the same position you were with Vanguard. You just wasted your time. That's why the IRA Financial LLC model is really the only true DRS model. Why? Because title is in the LLC, and who controls the LLC? Not IRA Financial, not Vanguard, not Schwab. You as the manager of the LLC have management responsibilities over the entire LLC. So you decide if anyone has access to your shares, because the title of those shares are in the name of the LLC and not in the name of a bank, financial institution, or custodian. Okay, so this is the only true way that you can guarantee that no one's touching these shares. This is the really only true IRA DRS model. So then when you receive the DRS, we will get an email. So they'll email us a copy, and we'll have the client complete the in-kind investment or exchange form to move the GME into the LLC. Okay, and then ultimately, the LLC will have, the GME stock will be titled in the name of the LLC, and the IRA owner, as manager of the LLC, will have 100% control over the GME stock. So this is the only true DRS model for IRAs. Okay, so I'm super psyched about it. It's a great model. I worked with a number of attorneys and accountants to come up with this years ago. We started obviously getting busy a year ago or so with GME, but we've done it with AMC and a bunch of other companies as well. Again, you don't have to DRS it. No one's forcing you, right? The SEC does not force people to use a brokerage firm or a DRS. It's up to you. So for the folks that want a DRS, and especially in the GME world where you got 25% of the shares are DRS already, so there's a huge movement involved in DRSing, and the fact that there's such a huge industry of short sellers that are trying to do everything they can to push the stock value down, even though they've gotten squeezed this year. We want to keep them at bay, and this is the only thing as a shareholder that we can do. That's it. We can't do anything else. 25%, 75 million shares is super impressive. There's more work to be done, but it's impressive nonetheless. Okay, so again, just some numbers. Year to date, GME's up 38%. The last 6 months, it's up about 15%. The last 1 month, it's down 2.3%. 1 year, if you look at the whole year, it's down 30% past year. So over the 5 years, it's up 521%. Okay, so obviously, we all want the stock to go up for whatever reason, whether it's investment, a belief, whatever. Who cares, right? And we want a fair market, right? If you are short selling, I guess that's fine, but you should actually own those shares, and they shouldn't be nakedly lent to you. And you should know if those shares are being lent. That's my biggest issue with all this. It's been super enlightening the last 2 years. I think I'm a pretty sophisticated guy. Every time I mention to friends and colleagues that this stuff exists in the brokerage world, that brokerage firms actually control the shares, they're registered in their name for your benefit. You don't own them. They can directly lend them out and earn a fee without you knowing or without you receiving any compensation as the shareholder, the actual person that you think owns the shares. I can't believe in America this stuff happens and no one's talking about it. So that's kind of my big mission. Is I'm all for transparency. I'm all about the libertarian model in me. Is like, do whatever you want, but it should be fair. Everyone should be playing on the same ball field. We all should be playing with the same rules. We all should know what those rules are. And unfortunately, most investors do not. So I think whether GME goes to the moon or just goes nowhere, I think just as important. Yeah, I want to make money. But secondly, I think this is an important story that needs to be told, that can enlighten people to be like, hey, you actually don't own the stocks that you think you do. And there's a whole game being played behind the scenes that you're just not privy to. And more importantly, you're not being compensated for. So I hope that changes. I do think there's momentum that within the years, brokerage firms may say, you know what, we'll give you a cut of what we're making. There are, indirectly your shares, you pay for them. Yeah, we may promise that we'll give them back when you want to sell them, but like, you're still lending them to me. And they'll say, well, it's inventory. It's our inventory, but we paid for them. So I just think ultimately that's inherently flawed and unethical. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I truly believe I'm super proud of what we've done at IRA Financial to empower and folks with an IRA to DRS their shares in a solution that gives the IRA owner ultimate 100% control over those shares. And the fact that IRA Financial is not a broker dealer, we're not a brokerage firm, we do not sell stocks. We can't. We're unlawfully would be in big trouble if we did. We are not allowed. It would be illegal because we're not a broker dealer. We're not registered with FINRA, SEC. We don't want to be in that business. That's not our business. Our business is to custody and administrate alternative assets, not stocks. So by using the IRA LLC model, you as the manager of the LLC could have 100% control over those shares. They're DRS'd and owned by the LLC. They're not registered to us, IRA Financial. No, they're registered to the LLC that you control. IRA Financial has zero control over this LLC. You do as the owner, giving you true ownership and giving you a true DRS model without having some custodian that ultimately is the owner of record, even though you're the beneficiary, there's always some potential fear that that custodian may have some connection to a broker dealer, and behind the scenes, those shares may not be yours ultimately to control. So this is the only model that will give you 100% control over your IRA-owned stock, whether it's GME or AMC or Apple, Tesla, whatever. Doesn't matter. This is the only true model that will do it, and it's through the IRA LLC. So if you have questions, if you are at another custodian like Mainstar and need to move, IRA Financial would love to work with you. We have tons of experience working with Mainstar, other custodians, or even, and of course, Computershare, because we need to work hand in hand with them. We've been doing this for many years and helped significant number of investors from the GME world. I don't want to say thousands, maybe many hundreds, but overall thousands when you look at all the companies we've done this for. So we have the experience. We'll get it done. It's not expensive. We have flat fees. We want to work with you, and we want to empower you to have ultimate control over your IRA-owned GME or other stocks. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have questions, leave a comment. You can reach out to us. We have an amazing team. You can go to irafinancialgroup.com or 800-472-1043, 800-472-0646. You can chat us, call us. Yeah, we have phones. We'd love to hear from you. We have an amazing team of tax folks that are well-versed in the IRA world and have a good amount of, well, I'd say a great amount of experience, doing these types of in-kind transfers, from brokerage firms to Computershare, or from other custodians that are at Computershare to an IRA LLC model, again, giving you 100% control over those shares as the manager of the LLC, and giving you a true DRS model for your IRA-owned GME stock. So thank you for hanging out. I'm sorry it was a bit too long. Try to get this done in like 15 or 20 minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. In the chat, I detailed the ways that you can move your shares if you have a brokerage firm that has IRA-owned GME. That's the first model. And then the second is if you have it at a Mainstar or another custodian and you need to move, IRA Financial would love to work with you. And we have the experience to get this done quickly, efficiently, and very, very cost effectively. So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And I'll see everyone again next time.